Welcome, everyone, to our very first call facility focus forum podcast. I'm your host, Rob Vaughan, Vice President of Business Development and Marketing with CLS Facility Services. And here on our pod, we're here to discuss a wide range of facility management and maintenance topics in our industry, like HVAC controls projects and preventative maintenance, LED retrofits, electrical and plumbing work, energy management systems, and so much more. And boy, am I lucky here for our very first facility focus forum, First Call pod. We are here with Mr. Andre Ramsey, our First Call safety guru and former NFL player, which we'll talk about a little bit too. Andre, thanks for joining us. It's great to have you.
Oh, Rob, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to the discussion, and yes, this is awesome.
Well, thank you so much. Why don't we start off, talk a little bit about your role with First Call, your title, when you joined us. We'd love to hear a little bit more about you.
Yeah, absolutely. So my official title is Field Safety Manager. I've been with First Call now for just a little over a year, and it's been an awesome experience. I mean, this, not only just from our client base, but also to the people that we get a chance to work with on a daily basis is truly second to none. So yeah, it's been a great ride so far.
Love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. Well, we're blessed to have you. Safety is such a focus. It's an essential part of what we do. Why is it so essential, Andre, safety in our industry as a whole right now?
Oh man, that's a great question. And I like to answer this question in kind of two parts. So first and foremost, you have the people aspect of what we do. And I always like to say, the people are the true magic in what we actually do on a daily basis when we're talking about our service or installation kind of department. So, protecting our people is really the top priority, because they are, the secret sauce in what we do. And protecting the people, there is no greater, I think, task or obligation that we have as a company than protecting our people. And then you have the actual business side where you're talking about risk, and you're talking about how we operate as a business. A lot of the times people don't realize until there's a safety incident, unfortunately, how being unsafe can affect the bottom line, and also too, not just from a injury perspective, but also too from a downtime, from an incident investigation piece. There's just a lot of things that go into when there is an incident. So being proactive and having a safety first mindset, not just saying it as a cute slogan, but actually integrating it into your processes and procedures, I think is the number one priority for any company, especially in our industry.
It's not that different from what we do from a service standpoint in general. We say like any company can be great, Monday through Friday, quick response times, business hours. But, when it's Black Friday shopping season, or it's 4th of July weekend, or Christmas Eve, and a client has an emergency call, that's when we're judged the most. And you do so much pre-planning to try and mitigate the risk of that moment when you guys are on the spotlight. So all that being said, in your role, you're managing safety procedures, protocols, processes, best practices for more than 25 of our First Call Group branches. What's your greatest challenge in making sure we're doing our very best to assure safety in the workplace?
That's a great question, and it's definitely not something that I operate in a silo on with doing. I definitely have some awesome support from our leadership team, which where it starts for that safety mindset and how we roll out procedures and processes and making sure that everyone knows. But I would say my biggest challenge has to be making sure, especially when we're talking about operating in that many states, there are different local requirements, local OSHA requirements that not only have to meet the federal requirements, but also to the state requirements. So there are a lot of different requirements that we want to make sure that our employees know, and that is the biggest challenge. Our safety manual is quite expansive and it's very robust, but it's not the sexiest thing to talk about or read about. So when you're having to making sure that everybody knows, hey, this is how we do lockout tagout, this is what our procedures are, this is what our processes are, this is what our permit looks like. It's just making sure that everyone has that information and they know exactly where to find it. And if they have a question, the biggest thing is if they have a question, that they know that they can reach me and the safety team, and we'll be able to provide those resources for them.
So what I'm hearing is just awareness in general is really
Yeah.
important. Having an Andre to know those protocols in different states, the bylaws, the different regulations. So you're there to wear that cape and make sure that all our branches are aware because things in North Carolina might be different in Florida, might be different in Georgia, etc. So no pressure, right?
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure. But the thing that I really like about it, just to piggyback on that, is, it really requires me to stay on the top of my game and making sure that I'm staying up on the latest and greatest, and throughout the U.S. So it's really a challenge that I accept every day, and I look forward to, because I always get a question. I'm like, let me look this up, or let me make sure. But yeah, it's nonetheless, definitely that awareness piece is what one of our biggest challenges are. But we're tackling it head on for sure.
Well, I know our entire team appreciates that. Moving in a different direction, as technologies improve, costs are on the rise. The world is becoming more advanced than ever, and we see that with inflation and AI and it just changes everywhere. Do you feel there's a greater emphasis on safety more than ever before, or is this something we still need to work a lot more on?
You know what? This I think is really a topic that we need to discuss more in our industry. Just because technology has taken our industry to a place that I when I first started in the safety industry, which is 12 years now, I didn't think it could go. I mean, they have hard hats now that can that have cameras on the top that actually can you can just walk a regular job site and it'll give you a report of some safety violations that are that you would see on a job site. So they would be able to take that video, process it, and be able to provide you a job site audit report. It's something that is such a cool tool, and I think that our clients, also to our employees, are requiring just another level of safety. I mean, we have now with the amount of knowledge that we do have, not only our employees more knowledgeable about what safety requirements are, but also to our clients. So everyone is requiring that next step in safety, program overall, but also too, when developing culture is very, very important, for the business to understand how much of an emphasis that we have. So while I do believe that, the emphasis for safety across our industry is probably the highest I've ever seen since I've been in the industry, I still think that there's another level to go. So while I do believe that, there's more of a priority than I've ever seen in my career, I think that we still have, a little bit to go to actually get to that peak of where we want to get to, which is zero injury culture, no matter what the company is. So that's the ultimate goal.
I appreciate that. And you kind of hit on my next question. Whether a company has dozens of entities or it's an individual entity, not everyone has an Andre or someone focused on safety. So, what can most companies do, whether they're a single entity or multiple entities, to be more mindful of safety in general?
Yeah, I would have to say, just being knowledgeable. You have to be knowledgeable. The OSHA website is a wealth of knowledge, with what the requirements are for your state, for your industry, what OSHA regulations and subparts that you must abide by. And one thing that I would want to leave with advice for any business, especially in our industry, is OSHA is not only a resource, so you don't need to be scared of OSHA. A lot of times when you hear OSHA brought up, it's usually in a negative connotation, unfortunately. But they're the literally created standards to protect our workers, and that's the minimum. So you have the minimum requirement by law that we have to do. But every company should be striving for that Olympic level safety program, and that's what we do here at First Call. And I think that being as knowledgeable as you can, OSHA has a great resource. Taking trainings. I'm also to a trainer, so I provide trainings as well. But being in those trainings, staying up on OSHA, reading the regulations, having a consultant or investing in a safety manager or someone tasked with that, I think it just helps the development of your company. And then again, if you integrate safety into your processes versus safety being another step, you're more likely to have success and traction, not only with efficiency but also too with safety. So I just think that that investment it has to be made. It has to be made. So that would be my recommendations for sure.
Yeah, companies have to prioritize it.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of people at individual companies volunteering, being like, "Hey, I'd love to run our safety program," and then learning
absolutely.
OSHA regulations. I'm sure you
Right.
don't see that a lot.
I don't, that's for sure.
Just putting you on the spot a little bit here, I look at companies nowadays, whether they have 20 people or they have 200 people, there's seldom times where everyone's all together anymore. You got technicians in the field, or some people are in an office. Some companies have people all over the country. Is it a challenge for you when you're practicing safety, implementing processes, educating people, just getting everyone together, whether that's in a conference room or a Teams meeting, to make sure that, you have 100% of a company on board and not just, oh, the people that were there that day, because it's such a priority and you need to educate everyone uniformly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that is, especially with a company our size and, operating in the different states that we do, it definitely is a challenge. And the thing that we've done to really help minimize some of those gaps that maybe occur by not getting everyone in the room is having multiple communications about whatever that said topic is or whatever that said procedure or policy is. It's great to have the initial meeting where you have, whether it's teams or in an office, but you're going to have people that aren't there. So that's why you always want to have a communication plan with these procedures that are being rolled out or the trainings that are being done, just to have multiple ways to make sure that communications. We have an awesome text alert system that goes, when there's a safety notification or a safety bulletin, that we have a text automatic that goes out. So even if someone wasn't there for the live training, that they will be able to, receive that information. Also, to email is always a great one, but also to, field presence is such a huge part of what we do, and having that visibility and relatability. So also too, when we're touching branches, when we're going to job sites, no matter if you're a safety manager or if you're a operations, or branch leader, you want to make sure that, you have that, having those touch points, and that we all are staying on topic with having these safety reminders, because it's one thing for me to be able to provide that information, but it's another when you have the leader of a branch going in and having that same conversation or same review. It just shows that consistency there. So I think that that's really the key element.
I like that, and that's a good segue. So when you walk into a branch and Andre Ramsey's there that day, they know that it's going to be an important topic. They better bring their A game. People better have their coffee because you're going to be going over important stuff. So
Yeah.
so all that being said, you've been getting people's attention throughout your life, and you, sir, actually had the blessing of being in a rare group of playing in the National Football League, and you were an offensive lineman. Tell us a little bit about that and what brought you in this industry. Let's have some fun here. And wow, how did this all come about? Tell us about Andre's background.
Absolutely, man. If anyone would have asked me, it- it- coming up, what I would be doing now, or even having the opportunity to play in the NFL, I probably would say you were crazy. I'm originally from a small town, Cordele, Georgia. We're known for watermelon farming and football. That's really what we're known for. So I grew up playing the game, really loved it. But many people from my area don't make it. To the NFL. So it was always a dream, and I always, aspired to get there, but didn't know if that was really possible. But thankfully, through prayer, and also to just working hard. I was I went and played at Chris County High School. Went to Ball State University, where I went and got my undergrad. But go Ball State, chirp chirp. Shout out to the MAC as well. But it was a great experience. I really enjoyed my time in college. It really helped me develop in a lot of different areas, but it really helped me develop as a player. And then I was able to thankfully transition on to be a 7th round draft pick by the Seattle Seahawks. And played for several different teams, but it was literally a blast. I couldn't have dreamed that I would have that opportunity, but I loved every day of it. It was definitely hard work. It taught me a lot of discipline, a lot of leadership, a lot of working in a team environment professionally, which was very different than college. But it was truly a dream come true, and I wouldn't trade my experience for anything. The ups, the downs, the being cut, the being injured, the being traded, all those things, all those different emotions really helped shape me. And the NFL has a great internship program where they allow you to intern with different Fortune 500 companies, and it was a great experience there. And that's how I was able to transition from the NFL into a safety career by going through that internship program, going and being allowed and exposed to the construction industry, which I just fell in love with. So it definitely was a great time. I bounced around. I never beat Tom Brady, and I never won a Super Bowl, but I definitely had a ball. So it was a good time for sure.
Well, you're in the 0.001% of athletes there that got to play in the NFL, man. So, and just to make you feel better, when I was in seventh grade, I wasn't sitting there when they say, "What do you want to be growing up?" Going, "Oh, I can't wait to get into facility maintenance and really specialize in HVAC and LED retrofits." And I'm sure in seventh grade, you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a safety director."
Yes.
So, God works his magic in different ways, and we have our past, and here we are working for a great company and part of a great team. You know, with that athletic NFL experience, and we'll close with this, what would you say was the top part of that experience that molded you into being great at your job today?
Without even taking more than a second to think about it, the first thing that came in my mind was work ethic, excuse me, because it really takes a different level, especially in that level of competition when you're, the best 1% of athletes in the world are doing what you're doing. It's highly competitive. And in order to stay at top, it's one thing to have talent, which I thankfully was blessed with, to have that talent to play, when I was younger. The thing that helped keep me around for as long as I did was the work ethic. And I really take that with me today. And, I really believe it's important for any industry position. You have to have that work ethic to be the best. And I really strive. There's no way to measure this a lot of the times because there's some great safety professionals, in our industry and in the world, but I would really strive to be one of the best. I mean, to be considered that. So, and the way that I measure that is how our employees that I directly have responsibility with and for, feel about safety on the job site. That's how I measure it. So I'm just looking to do that, and that's what drives me every day. And I really found a passion for this. I have a passion for people, so I have a passion for making sure that they're protected and making sure that they have the resources they need mainly.
I absolutely love that. We've always said in training, there's three things you can't teach. You can't teach work ethic, you can't teach passion, and you can't teach empathy. And that last one's important for me too. And my friend, you have all three of those. It glows and you can see it in your energy. And it's been great having you as our first guest here on the First Call Facility Focus Forum podcast. You survived. I don't think we're gonna have to edit a single thing. It was great. Hopefully we're making everyone proud. But you've got such a key role with our team. And I think you've shown us all today just how important it is to prioritize safety and for all companies to make it a priority in the ever-changing, fast-moving world. So I appreciate you taking your time. I know you'll enjoy your weekend coming up here, and we'll have you again down the line to hear more of your adventures. Okay, Andre?
Hey, anytime, Rob. I really appreciate the opportunity, man, and looking forward to seeing you soon. We'll be in Ohio soon.
Amen, man.